5 incredibly boss moments from climate warrior Greta Thunberg. By now, you will know her name, after inspiring millions to hit the streets for climate action. Greta Thunberg, she's the Swedish teenager changing hearts and minds as she takes her climate message into houses of parliament and onto streets across the world. In recent days, Thunberg watched on as millions of people, young and old, took part in 5,600 strikes for climate action across 161 countries. The school strike for climate was the world's largest climate mobilization, with its fearless leader at the helm. Greta. 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 The crowd roared as she led protests in New York City. In other towns and cities, protesters held up pictures of the 16-year-old, who, despite seeing herself as a participant and not a leader, has inspired a global movement of action on climate change. As the United Nations Climate Summit kicks off in New York, we've taken a look back at some of her recent inspiring moments. A sea of Thunbergs in Melbourne. Photo. Op. Thunberg refuses to fly. Thunberg exemplifies the saying "practice what you preach." She traveled halfway around the world to attend the UN Climate Summit and chose to do so on a zero-carbon emission sailboat. Refusing to fly due to the carbon cost of plane travel, Thunberg instead jumped aboard an 18-meter racing yacht with no toilet, fixed shower or kitchen for 14 days. "This is not something I want everyone to do," she told reporters on her arrival. "It is insane that a 16-year-old would have to cross the Atlantic Ocean to make a stand." Listen to the scientists. While in the US, Thunberg's refreshingly blunt style of civil disobedience has been on show. Since skipping school to protest outside Swedish Parliament last August, Thunberg has addressed her fair share of politicians, simply urging them to listen to the experts. This week, the climate campaigner told the US Congress hearing she had no planned speech other than to deliver a landmark report. The document, prepared by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC), warned of dire consequences if the atmosphere warmed to 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels. "I am submitting this report as my testimony because I don't want you to listen to me, I want you to listen to the scientists," Thunberg said. "I want you to unite behind science. And then I want you to take real action. Thank you." She saved her speech for the following night. "Wherever I go, I seem to be surrounded by fairy tales," Thunberg said, "ones where politicians spend their time making up and telling bedside stories that soothe us and make us go back to sleep." You can read Thunberg's full speech here. Thunberg meets Obama, declines meeting with Trump. While in the US, Thunberg has had a busy schedule, testifying before Congress, protesting outside the Supreme Court, and meeting former President Barack Obama. But she isn't messing around and made no plans to meet with President Donald Trump. "I don't want to meet with people who don't accept the science," she said. "We will do everything in our power to stop this crisis from getting worse, even if it means skipping school or work, because this is more important," Thunberg said. "Why should we study for a future that is being taken away from us?" She continued, saying change is coming. "If you belong to that small group of people who feel threatened by us, we have some very bad news for you.